Okay, so I have half my face is done with high-end products and the other side of my face is done with drugstore products. For each side, there's 5 products. I haven't done a whole full face, but there is 5 products. Can you figure out which side is high-end and which is drugstore? Then stick around and find out. Hi everyone, welcome to another video. So as you can see, I'm getting into the festive spirit here. It's always fun at this time of year when I can change up my background. So as I mentioned in my intro, half my face has high-end products on it and the other half is drugstore. So I'm really excited for this one because the 5 products that I thought looked very, very similar. So the first thing that I want to say is if this is your first time visiting my channel, I do these types of videos every once in a while. And I don't necessarily like to call them dupes because it may not be the exact same shade or the texture or the consistency of the product may not be the same. But I always judge products by how well they work on my skin and whether I think that the products will be great for other mature ladies out there. So I always say that they're either very comparable to each other or you can also call them makeup alternatives. So I've given you lots of time now to decide, do you know which side is the high end and which side is the drugstore? So I won't keep you in suspense any longer. This side here is the higher end products and this side here is the drugstore products. Now I didn't go into what 5 products I used. It'll probably be on the thumbnail and you'll be able to see which type of products I've used. But I will come a little bit closer so you can see. So on my eyes, and I was looking earlier in the mirror and I am not sure what the situation is with my false eyelashes today. I'm wearing falsies. I haven't worn them in a really long time. And for some reason, they're the exact same lash, like from the package and everything. And this side looks all fluttery and this side, I don't know. Well, I don't know what's going on. So just look past the lashes today. So the 5 products that I used is an eyeshadow palette. There is a blush, a lip liner, a lipstick, and also foundation. I don't know about you guys, but does that look really, really similar? Like even the shades on the eyes. That's why I said I'm very excited with this one because I think these look fantastic. And anytime I can try and save you guys money, I am all in for that. So let's first start with the higher end foundation that I have on today. And it's the Charlotte Tilbury, the Beautiful Skin. I have this one in the shade 4, which is neutral. Now don't get me wrong, this is a beautiful foundation. It looks really lovely on the skin. It blends in really easily. It has hyaluronic acid, which is great for mature skin. It's very lightweight, long wearing. And with it having skincare ingredients in it, it's one of those types of products that will improve your skin over time. Very nice packaging. It comes as a pump. It's not overly runny, but I do like how it blends in. It's not too thick either, but you can see how nicely of a job it does with covering up all of my veins. So great product, but the price point is pretty up there. So this product in Canada is $66. That's pretty pricey, and that is for 30 mils. So the drugstore product that I have on this side is the Maybelline Fit Me. And I know, shocking, right? Like this has been around forever. I have this one in the shade of 120 Classic Ivory, but I was using it the other day and I thought, you know what? This really does remind me of the Charlotte Tilbury. So I compared them and I was blown away actually of how similar they were. Okay, so there's the Maybelline. Very nice texture, blends in easily. Even the shades really aren't bad. But if I bring them up to you, you can see how, look at that luminosity. Both really gorgeous products, but a fraction of the price. This Maybelline one, the last time I looked, I think it was like $11 or $12. And a lot of the times you can probably get it on sale. I think the Maybelline gives a lovely natural coverage. It doesn't settle into my fine lines. Neither one of them do. Luminous my skin looks. Now I do have the hydrating version. If you have oily skin, there's also a matte version, but this is the hydrate and smooth one. This is one of those foundations that always gets great reviews. It's a foundation that doesn't oxidize on me. The color stays true all day, and it just looks lovely on my skin. So I'm so happy I discovered very comparable drugstore option for you. So next up is the eyeshadow palettes that I used. And I was using the high-end one about a week and a half ago, and I was like, you know what? I was putting on some of the shades, and I was like, I think this has a very similar shade range as my drugstore version. So the high-end that I have on this side is the Tartlet Toasted palette by Tarte. Very pretty shades. Now, is it the exact same of the drugstore palette I'm going to show you? No, but certain shades are very, very similar, and I'll swatch them for you so you can see, because I know it's kind of hard probably to see them on my eyes. But the one that I'm comparing it to is the NYX Ultimate Warm Neutrals palette. Now, you can probably see just on the camera how some of the shades look very similar, but not everything is identical. But the shades that I use a lot were the ones that I was concerned with. And I'm like, you know what? These are very, very close together. And it's very, there's going to be a little bit of glare just because this is like a metal packaging. You know, of course, it has beautiful packaging. And one of the features of this palette is it smells like chocolate. So it does smell really nice. I will say that. But is that worth the $68 Canadian price point for this palette? Oh my goodness, that's a lot, right? And that's quite a jump from what I paid for this. Probably about a year and a half or 2 years ago is when I bought this one, and it was maybe about $45 at that time, so it has jumped a lot. The packaging's beautiful. It has a mirror. Is this shade right here? It's called Sunrise. Okay, it's a very, like a creamy shade. And this has a mixture of mattes and shimmers in it. And what I'm going to compare it to is, unfortunately, the NYX palette doesn't have shade names, but they have numbers on them. So I'm comparing it to number 4, which is this shade right here. And then I did swatch it for you. So the top one is the Tarte, and the bottom one is the NYX. So what I did with those two shades is I used them as my transition shade today. So I put that all over the lid, right from the mobile lid, right up to the brow bone. So as I'm talking, I'll put a little bit of B-roll as I was applying them. Now the next shades that I went in with, they weren't exactly the same, but they did apply pretty decent on my lid. So I applied this one right here, which kind of looks a peach shade, like a brownie peach shade, and it's called Cashmere. This shade number 6 right here on the NYX palette. Top one is the Tarte. This one is the NYX. So you can see that applied to my hand, the shades look a little bit different, but when I have them on my lids, they don't look too bad. And remember, I just put those shades right on my lid. So I thought that's pretty incredible, because sometimes when the shade looks a little bit different in the pan than when you apply it. And then the next two shades I used just in the corner of my eye to give it some depth. So I used this shade right here. It's called Cozy. Almost has like a rust color to it. This is where it was very similar. And then this is shade 12 in the NYX palette. Well, when you swatch them, very similar. So the top one is the Tarte. Bottom one is the NYX. But again, when you have them on the eye, very, very similar. And then the shimmer that you see on my eyes is the shade right here on the end. It's called Candle. And then the NYX shade is right here. It's just like shade number 2. So the top one here is the Tarte. This one is the NYX. The Tarte one had a bit more gold in it, but again, very similar when you look at them on the eyes. A couple of things that I noticed when I was applying them. I had more fallout on the Tarte side than I did on the NYX side. They are both very buttery, but I think I have to give more points to the NYX because they seem to blend in a little bit better. I never have any issues with them fading or anything like that. I think this is a great everyday neutral palette if you like warm neutrals. This is a great one. Now, the price definitely has creeped up, especially over the last few years. When I picked this one up probably about a year and a half ago, I think I got it for around $19, $20 Canadian. And now when I've looked online just to see kind of what the price range is, I think it's in the upper 20s, like maybe 28, 29. But again, always wait for sales. I always wait for stuff to come on sale. Oh, I forgot to show you, there was one shade. Now, I didn't use it today because I was using some other products. But there is one other shade that I think is very, very comparable to the NYX. So on the corner here, there's a shade called Fireside. And it's like, it almost looks like a dark, dark chocolate brown. Well, the NYX palette has a very similar shade. This one actually blew me away. So the top one is the Tarte and the bottom one is the NYX. But look at that is very similar. Holy smokes. So I just thought I would throw that one in there because I'm not wearing it today. All right, so next we're moving into the blush that I have on today. So the high-end blush that I'm wearing is by Haus Labs. This is the Color Fuse Glassy Blush Balm. I have it in the shade Glassy Pomelo. Now this is a really lovely blush. You can use it on your lips as well. Gorgeous. It applies really nicely, blends in beautifully. Comes in lots of different shades. So I'm going to say most people should be able to find a shade that matches your skin tone. Very hydrating. This is a long wearing blush. I didn't do today was I didn't put a bunch of bronzer on. I just put some on the perimeter of my face. I didn't apply any bronzer to my cheeks because I wanted the true color of both blushes to shine through. And the other thing I didn't wear, which you can probably see, is I didn't put a lot of powder on because I wanted the true foundations and blush. I wanted those products to really show on my skin so that you guys can see what it looks like up close and personal. So with the Haus Labs, I very, very seldom have to wear like a highlighter. What I usually do is just use a brush, but you can just go in right on your cheek and apply it that way. Now, I actually surprised myself with the blush that I was using one day because I've had, I'm going to say, like a love-hate relationship with this blush, okay? I've actually had it in a video where I was just like, this is a fail for me. And as much as I say that, I still persevere and try and use it because I've bought the product with my own money and I just hate wasting my money for it sitting there. So I keep trying to use it in different ways. So the one I'm talking about is the Pixi On The Glow blush. And what convinced me to buy it was so many other content creators say how nice it is and how much they love it. And I just have not been very successful with this, but I keep, like I said, I keep trying. I think what threw me off was the shade when I looked online to pick it up. It looks very different online than in actual real life. So I have it in the shade Fleur. So it's a stick type of applicator. You just twist it up. Again, it has a very beautiful luminosity to it, very hydrating. The price point is better. Now, what I will say about Pixi is, I don't know if you guys find this if you have Pixi products. Pixi I think is a little bit more expensive than other drugstore products. So this product right now in Canada, when I looked on the website, was $26. But again, you can probably try and get it on sale. So I'll swatch it right beside the Haus Labs one. Now the shade is pretty similar, but not exact. So there's the Haus Labs, and there's the Pixi. But you can see how luminous they both are. I'll blend in the Haus Labs one first. So keep in mind, it's going to be a bit more sheer because it is a balm formula. And then same with the Pixi. Just kind of has that sheerness to it. But if you can get it just right, they do last. They're long lasting. The Pixie is a limited shade range. I think there's only like 3 or 4 shades of this one. It does have a lot of skin loving ingredients in it, such as ginseng, aloe vera. It doesn't feel heavy on the face at all. So I think it's a great product. Both of them are a great product if you are somebody that likes more of a lighter coverage blush. You like it more subtle. Price point on the Pixie is way different. I think I can't remember if I told you what the House Labs one was. So House Labs is $47. So essentially half price. Now I'm very excited with these next 2 products I'm going to show you because, and the drugstore versions, because I think this is where drugstore shines, to be 100% honest with you guys. So we're talking about a lip liner first. So the lip liner that I have on the high-end side is by Kosas. This is the hot liner. I have it in the shade 100. It's a neutral pink beige. So it's a great product. It's retractable. Love this shade. It's right up my alley. And then when I was using this other drugstore one the other day, I went, oh, I think that's almost like the same shade. The Kosas is running about $30 for this lip liner. Here's the thing. I actually find the Kosas one to be a bit drying. Like when I apply it, I mean, yes, it's creamy and it's smooth, but it just feels, it has some drying qualities to it. The drugstore version is not going to be a shock to you. It's the one by Maybelline. Well, see, I'm almost out of this one. Look at how I've just been using this one on repeat. This is the shade Big Lift. Look at this. Look at how comparable those are. But I like the Maybelline better than I like the Kosas. This, I think you can get this for like $10, $11 maybe. And as you'll notice in the B-roll, like there is virtually no difference in the 2 sides once I apply it. Now, both pencils actually have hyaluronic acid in them. They both have a great shade range. I mean, the Maybelline one, yes, you do have to sharpen this one with just a regular sharpener. It's not retractable. But I love these ones so much. I actually went and picked up another shade the other day. So I think I have like 4 or 5 shades now of this one. Now, they are both really long lasting. You know that I always fill in my whole lip with the lip liner. And that just helps your lipstick stay on longer throughout the day. But like I said, I think the Maybelline is just an awesome, awesome product and a fraction of the cost. So the last product is the lipsticks that I have on. So if I even come closer, can you tell that there is 2 different lipsticks on my lips, 2 different shades? So the high-end side has MAC. This is in the shade Warm Teddy. I recently picked this up on the Sephora sale. This is not the full size. You can see it's a little more the little size. I didn't even know that you could actually pick up like the smaller little bullets, but that's what I did. Now the shade is quite pretty. I think it's perfect for fall. So it's a very comfortable lipstick. It is a matte formula, but I don't find it overly drying. And hopefully you can see on my lips, like it doesn't look drying. And I've had it on for quite a while. Then the other nice thing about MAC is it's such a huge shade range because they've been around for so long. When I was using it, I went, I think this is exactly the same as my Milani. So this is the Milani Color Fetish lipstick. It's in the shade Tease. Now the Milani one just has a little bit more warm tones to it. So there's the MAC. There's the Milani. But see what I was saying about when you apply stuff to your lips or your face or whatever, it can look very different. So I was blown away because I was trying it out, seeing, how comparable are these, are the shades, and it just blew me away how they look exactly the same once they're applied. Like, isn't that incredible? So definitely the combination of the lip liners and then the shade, I think that helps contribute to the shades working together. But I think it's just amazing. And when you think about the price point, the MAC runs about $34, I think it is, somewhere in that price range. Whereas the Milani is, I think it's anywhere between $12 or $14. Again, wait for it to come on sale and it'll be even more affordable. The Milani does have hyaluronic acid in it, so that's helping with the moisture, and because this is a matte as well, but very comfortable. I never have any issues with it feeling dry on my lips or fading. I can usually wear this for a good amount of time before I actually see any sort of wear on my lips. So I hope this was a helpful video for you. That's what I love doing this. I love creating these videos. And I'm always testing stuff out behind the scene to see if it'll be the same shade or the same texture consistency. Let me know if you have any makeup alternatives. I always love hearing from you guys. All the products I talked about today will be linked and listed down in the description box. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe if you're not already. And as always, I hope everybody has a great week and a great life, and I'll see you all very soon in my next video. Bye!